There you go. We are live here.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the general committee meeting for October the 10th, 2023. And with this, I would like to do a roll call. I am Lee Peterson, chairman of the general committee, Ward 2 Alderman. And I have both of our committee members with us tonight.
Jim Waters, the vice chair, Ward 6. Thank you.
Bob Garza, Ward 3.
And we also have several guests with us. And if y'all could just go around the table and introduce yourselves, that would be great.
Sure, I'll start. Jason Gallo, Administrative Services Director.
Karen Dixon, Alderman Ward 4.
Oh, Tamara Ingersoll, Finance Director.
Mayor Jamie Clary.
Keith Free, Planning Director.
Casey Lamore, Public Information Officer.
Jesse Eckenroth, Chief of Operations.
Jeff Sassy, Ward 3 Alderman.
Stephen Rozak, President, Ward 5.
Jana Garten, Ward 5 Alderman. Terry Goodwin, Ward 4 Alderman.
Oh,
Mayor, I think we're going to need a bigger room.
Or
It's good
a shorter agenda.
Good to have everyone here with us tonight. We appreciate y'all being here and all of you watching from home as well. I would like to get an approval of tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion to accept and a proper second. Motion to accept from Mr. Waters and a second from Mr. Garza. All those in favor of accepting our agenda, say aye.
Aye.
That passes. And have y'all had a chance to review last month's minutes?
Sir.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion for the minutes?
I move that we approve of the minutes from last meeting.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Garza and a proper second from Mr. Waters. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes as well. Thank you. Okay. And I forgot to ask if we had a sign-up sheet.
We do. We don't have anyone signed
Oh,
up.
okay. Did anyone want to sign up that may have missed the list for citizen comments? Okay, well, we do not have any. And we will move on to section 5, ordinances and resolutions. And our first item on the agenda is reading of resolution 2023-40. That's a resolution authorizing the city's administrative services department to apply for a public entity partner cybersecurity grant for the purchase of cybersecurity items. And Mayor, you are sponsoring that. Did you want to speak on this resolution?
I do, but I sound more intelligent when I ask the staff to speak for me. So I'm going to ask Jesse and the staff to take this in the next item.
Okay, thank you.
You want me to take it? Okay. So on this, this is a grant that's offered by our insurance company. And so it's specific to cybersecurity. It's either for training, data backup, ransomware, those pieces. So specific to our IT department and the things that they do. We currently have a formal training program that we have all of our employees go through. We also have a backup system that we use. The grant is half up to $2,000. And so they'll reimburse us, basically if we spent $4,000, they'll reimburse us $2,000. So it's half up to $2,000. The training alone that we spend is $6,000. The data backup is $16,000. So we will easily prove our case to have that, reimbursed. It's going through the motions and having the authorization to start. Now, it doesn't open up till December, but I know that with holidays, I'm trying to just get ahead of the curve a little bit with this.
Okay,
So
and that's what I was going to ask. Would this help our liability insurance if we are compliant with taking this cybersecurity grant?
So it shows we already have a writer for cybersecurity grant with our insurance. What it shows is the city's continuing to take the efforts to protect its assets, both with data and computer systems.
Okay. All right.
What makes us class one? The size of our city or our budget or?
All the above of the amount that we hold
Okay.
with the liability insurance as well. So all of our existing policies all tied to that.
And in this resolution,
Yes.
the dates are this past year. It's just because it's an annual renewal.
So the resolution shouldn't be for the past year. Now the handout that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked with public entity. They hadn't updated
Okay.
the information yet. But I did confirm the criteria is still the same.
Okay, good to go. Well then, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2023-40.
So move. Second, I mean.
Okay, we have a proper motion from Mr. Garza and a second from Mr. Waters. All those in favor of applying for the cybersecurity grant, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes unanimously. Okay, we will move on to the second item. That's reading resolution 2023-41, a resolution amending the job classification table and authorizing Hendersonville Police Department to hire additional employees. Jason, did you want to speak on that one as well?
I think I'll ask Jesse to weigh in on this one. I know Tamara is here as well to talk about the finance.
Let me
Yes,
interrupt
sir.
you. Share with the committee what we talked about
Sure. What we
before
had,
we started.
what we had discussed.
We didn't break any sunshine law. Just
No, sir.
Just do it.
You had some questions regarding the total costs. What positions, there was a note on the staff report that you had a question on changes noted above do not result in any additional city staff. And you were questioning, is it just the position above it or all the positions above it? So I clarified that. We talked about, and I think this is where Jesse can probably add additional, how the city codes enforcement position at police would differ from what Mr. Nicholson is doing in planning right now. So am I missing anything? Did I cover most?
No, you cleared my brain a while ago, but I was concerned about Nicholson's job.
Yes.
I had him, and I know he's in planning and I know what he's been doing, but somebody else is gonna be doing it now. I guess, the guy that retired, was he not doing it with him?
Yeah, I will go over that. I guess I would back up and just start with the clean team. We launched a clean team several months ago. And part of what we've had the clean team do is go around the city and pick up the loose litter, and some of the signs are out of compliance. That was handled by our planning department. And we had a gentleman who retired. He was part-time. And I think he found employment elsewhere.
He did.
And so we just said, hey, let's see if the clean team can just handle the work without hiring another part-time person. We had 2 part-time maintenance inspectors, and basically what they would do is they would drive, and that's not Mr. Nicholson. The planning department really had 3. They had 3 inspectors. So Tim Nicholson, full-time, right? So he'll go out and look at zoning issues for compliance for businesses, for zoning issues. And then we had 2 part-time maintenance inspectors, which really focused on, signs and litter that was on the roadway. So when the clean team came on, we said, you know what, we just had someone leave on a part-time basis. Let's see if the clean team can just absorb that work without hiring back that part-time person. It has worked pretty well. Since that time, the other part-time person from planning, who is out a lot on weekends to do that type of work, has retired. So there is a gap in the service. We don't have clean team over the weekend. And at the same time, in our codes department, police runs our codes enforcement department, and we don't have someone on the weekends. We don't have someone pushing out proactive information on short-term vacation rentals. We don't have someone to back up our one person that we have at TD for codes enforcement. So we said, why don't we consider basically both of those part-time positions, not bringing either one of them back, but rolling in a full-time codes officer under the police department that can be a backup to our existing codes officer, can have a shift over the weekend, and that can do proactive community-based education on the fact that short-term vacation rentals are not allowed in most areas of the city.
Let me interrupt you right quick. Is he gonna be paid by the police department's budget?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. So that's the
Go ahead.
proposal, and that's what's proposed in here.
Is he gonna be working under Mickey Miller? Or Is he
Yes.
gonna be working under
So
John Henry, I guess?
So it would be the counterpart of John Henry. It would be another John Henry. So when we considered, hey, who are the guys who really are boots on the ground for city a lot? It's our codes enforcement officer, John Henry, and Trace Burkett. Those two gentlemen probably get as many calls as anyone. We don't have a backup for John Henry. We've lost two part-time they're called property maintenance inspectors. They really did signs mostly on the weekends. So we just thought this was a good opportunity to do several things with the position. And the additional full-time salary and benefits is offset by the part-time salary and benefits that would be removed. In addition to that, with finance not having an assistant finance director, we also looked at a reorganization for the finance department. So included in here too is the opportunity to position the city to do centralized procurement, eliminate the assistant finance director, and instead have two managers, like an accounting manager and a finance manager. And that comes actually, I think, overall at a savings to the city. So the changes altogether are very little financial impact, but it allows us to set up centralized procurement, and it gives us another codes enforcement officer on the ground on the weekends, back up to Mr. Henry, and someone who can do something we currently don't do, which is education to the community about short-term vacation rentals where they are and are not allowed. So we wanted to kind of consider these holistically because it has a budget impact. It doesn't have a budget impact for this year, but next year it's one additional full-time person because the police department would have this person as full-time. We would eliminate the part-time position under planning, and it would just be a full-time under PD.
So the total of 16,000 is an increase, right?
Yes,
16.
yes, 16,440.
If you take all the decreases and increases, it comes out to an increase of 16,000.
Yeah, so we did an example scenario of our actual employees right now, and if all these employees shifted like right now, what would it total? So that was $16,500 for all the moves we're proposing. Another move in here is the data analyst. So that is just a rewriting of a job description we currently have. So Jason and Mike did an analysis of their department, and this position is in the budget. It was just budgeted a higher amount. So they kind of looked at the needs of the department and said, hey, what do we really need in the department? And it fit under a data analyst, which actually the pay grade comes down a step or two to save some money. That's a position we just haven't hired yet because we wanted to really fine tune that job description for what they needed. So that's included in here as well, but you are correct that the total impact on the example scenario on page 27 is $16,500.
Now, will all these be grouped together under one department?
No, so under the example scenario, the first 6 positions that are listed would be under finance, and that's pulling in centralized purchasing as well too. So, we wouldn't pull the trigger day one with centralized purchase. It would take a couple of years to fully develop that, but this gets us started on that. The kind of middle block is IT, and then the bottom block is PD.
And if I can, on the example for the codes position in police, that was budgeted at the example was at the same level as John Henry. So there is still a potential of savings there.
So John Henry will have to be educated on some things, right? Because he's not used to what Nicholson and his partner was doing. He didn't do, because I called him, he'd say, you got the wrong man.
I think
I mean, some things, you know what I'm talking about?
the short-term vacation rentals was the piece that he was
Yeah.
asking about
Yeah,
before.
so short-term vacation rentals is completely new to the city, but it keeps popping up as an issue over and over. And I've looked at real estate ads, and the realtors will put out, hey, this could be used as a short-term vacation rental, and really it can't. So one of the ideas is we could use this person to put out information to say, hey, our code actually doesn't allow short-term vacation rentals in this area and that area. It only allows them in this area. So that person can do some proactive education out to the community. We're not going to use this position to do a stakeout on a house, but to get information out to mostly probably real estate agents and to some folks who have their homes listed as short-term vacation rentals could get some information about whether
That's above my
allowed or
pay
not.
grade, but I was more concerned about property with excess equipment in the yard, boats, that I always called Tim. He took care of it. Henry did not take care of that. That was not his job. Is that going to be his job now?
So Tim Nicholson will remain in his capacity as he is. His job will not change at all.
Oh,
Yeah, so we had two other part-time guys besides Tim. So Tim will stay as he is, no change to Tim in the planning department.
okay.
And then we'll just get rid of the two part-time that we had and replace with a full-time.
I don't oppose this ordinance, but I'm just dumb, and like we talked the other day, I'm just stupid, so I want to find out what I'm voting on.
Well, you're right. You're correct. So we would have a backup for John Henry, but Tim wouldn't be changed, but it would be the two part-time property maintenance.
I understand. Thank you.
And I appreciate HR being proactive and always looking at staffing needs and being able to combine positions for efficiency's sake. And most importantly is having that codes officer available on the weekends, because generally that's when we do get complaints about short-term rentals and other things of that nature. So I'm glad that we do have someone.
And we did not do an analysis on what John Henry produces the city in terms of fines. There's some revenue that's produced from the position.
Yeah.
We didn't consider that in here, but the community benefit with short-term vacation rentals would probably be well perceived. And there would be a revenue aspect too of that code enforcement officer. But we did not want to include revenue in here. That's not the reason we're doing it.
I understand.
Okay. Do we have any more questions on
No,
amending the job class table?
I'm showing my ignorance.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, he said he had no more comment.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently he's much smarter now than he was a few minutes ago.
Yes, well, it's always good to
I'm
ask.
dumber than a rock. I move to accept this.
Okay,
And I'll second the dumb guy's motion.
I have a proper motion to accept resolution 2023-41, a resolution amending the job classification table and authorizing Hendersonville Police Department to hire an additional employee. And we have a proper second. All those in favor say aye.
Me?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Okay, we will move on to item number 3. This is a resolution 2023-42,
Mhm.
a resolution of intent to exercise first right of refusal on the purchase of certain real estate property located on Sarnersville Road in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
So move.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, do we want to discuss this?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be first. I'm going to let.
Actually, I would like to defer to my right counterpart over here.
No. It goes to committee first.
I wonder if
Oh, just the three of us.
First
Jesse,
committee talks first. Then if
Gotcha.
you want to defer to dummy, that's fine. I don't mind.
wonder if,
Let's keep it as,
So let me ask this question then. I'm with you. So this is just, I'm surprised it's actually a resolution for the intent of the first right. However, it's got nothing to do with buying the property at this point. It's just for the refusal. Is that correct?
Jesse, would you like to speak on this?
I can't do that.
Excellent.
Oh, that would be perfect.
I didn't know you was here.
Lance Ray, the city attorney, that would be perfect.
Stand up so I can look at you.
I got too much stuff in my lap. We need to make a decision. We have, the deed that gave us an easement to the property originally in 2003, where it was negotiated for this right of first refusal, it gives us 15 days to exercise it. So if we want it, we have to provide notice that we intend to purchase it, and then we would be bound by the sales contract that is in place for the adjacent land also, which is the price that we talked about, and closing by the end of the year, and the down payment. So it's a resolution because we only had 15 days, and the ordinance would require 2 readings. And the 15th day is actually today, but
Today.
by agreement, they gave us until tomorrow. So we have, if we want that property, we have to tell them tomorrow that we want it.
Okay,
So if, after we vote on it, it goes to Boma tonight. If Boma denies it, it's over.
It's over, yeah.
Okay,
That answers my question.
that's it.
I did one more question I have to ask Lance.
Go ahead.
So it's 7.5 acres for the property that we have the option to purchase.
Yes, sir.
How does that relate to the 11.5 acres next to it?
So the current buyer has put a contract on both pieces of property.
Oh, okay.
One price of 1.1 million. And we prorated the acreage to the total price to what the price should be for the 7.85 acres
Gotcha.
that we have an option on.
Okay, makes sense. I didn't realize it was a current option
Yes,
for
sir.
a buyer. Okay.
Yeah, there's a current contract on both pieces of parcel, or both parcels, overall for the price of 1.
Okay. That makes sense.
and this is, these 2 lots are across the street from Country Hills Golf Course on Saundersville Road.
Yeah.
And which I would like to interject here, if I may, and I don't want to interrupt your train of thought, but, and Mayor, I don't know who I asked this to, but do we have $1.1 million to purchase both of these pieces of property for? And I think I had asked at the last Boma meeting, Director Gilly from Parks to tell us what type of park facility this could be used for in the future.
We do not have a budgeted line item. We do not have line items, in my opinion, that we could take this kind of money from without incurring serious harm. We would have to take it from one of our reserve funds.
Would the city, I'm just guessing, be able to take out a 30-year mortgage?
We could borrow for it. That's Tamara. How long would they let us borrow for something like this?
I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna guess not a super long term.
5 or 10
for that-
years?
For that dollar amount, yeah.
Yeah.
And with the interest rates the way they are, we'd be paying a lot more than 1.1 million when it was all said and done.
I just feel it's bad timing for us to get this piece of property, because I would love to have that for a future park, especially for one down in that Saundersville area. But, we have to decide what, and I guess that's why there is a right of refusal. They wanted the city to have the property, and I wish that we had funds available to purchase this, because I think it would be a great opportunity, but not with high interest rates and not with us looking at raising sales tax. So I think it would Um,
Can I make just one
Yes, you
clarification?
can.
So just so that we're clear, there's two parcels, 11.5. We don't have an option to purchase that property. And there's the 7.5, which we do have an option. Both parcels together have an offer by the buyer of 1.1 million. Our piece, if we exercise the option, would be $434,210.
would that other party still be interested in purchasing that second parcel if the city buys the 7.5 acres for 442,000?
I haven't asked that question specifically. I kind of have the sense that they would because they're a developer and they're gonna probably develop it. But I don't know. I would, if I just had to guess, I would guess that they would still purchase it, but I don't know that answer specifically.
That'd be a big selling point for that developer to have a park next door. Okay.
I just want to add one more thing about the park. This is exit 8.
What was your question again?
We already have a big traffic problem at exit 8.
Which one?
Would the developer still buy the 11.5 if the city bought the 7.5?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking you were asking, would the developer allow us to buy the other 11.5?
Yeah, that would.
I don't think that they would, but I would imagine they would still buy the 11.5 if the city bought the 7.5 acres.
Okay,
Sorry, I just want to make sure the information is right.
it is. Okay,
You ready?
yes, sir.
Get your seatbelts ready. I'm sorry I didn't hear your conversation, Attorney,
Yes, sir.
and I might be repetitious here, so forgive me. Because of my age, I can blame anything on ignorance at my age, okay? I first want to look at the attorney's letter. Approximately 7 acres in the amount of 442,588.20, okay?
Yes,
The resolution says the same thing, right? Now, I want either Jesse or you to read whereas 4 and 5 and explain to me, clear my mind on what we're talking about here. And also, I think you sent a memo out, Attorney. If you could touch on that, I'd appreciate it. Then I'll come back.
you may have a page.
44. You want me to?
Whereas number 4 and 5, I just want you to read them and explain them to me. I know they may be simple as dirt, but
I'm there, Lance. You want me to read it? Page 44, and then under the general committee.
Is that the fourth whereas?
fourth and fifth. Are you reading?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, so it's, what I was just explaining is that there's a buyer, and there's 2 parcels of property.
There is a buyer.
Yes, they have a contract on both parcels. There's an 11.5 acre parcel, and right next to it is a 7.5 acre parcel.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
We only have an option to purchase the 7.5 acre property, not the 11.5.
It's not a right of refusal on both of it, it's just a 7 point.
Yes, sir. And the current offer is for both pieces. The current buyer is trying to buy both parcels for 1.1 million.
But why is both parcels in this resolution? If we can't, if it's not involved in the ordinance?
Well, I did that to explain how we got the price.
Oh, you did that.
I did. So since the price for all of it is 1.1 million, but our option is only on 7.5 acres.
That we can buy the other 2 for 1.1 million.
No, we can only buy the 7.5 acres for 434,000.
Okay. Also, look at your memo, attorney. Would you look at it and I think it's repetitious, but I want to be sure.
Yes.
Because I only went to the 5th grade and I would have went to the 6th grade, but my father was in there and I didn't want to embarrass him, so I quit. Did you get that, Mayor?
I did.
Okay.
I don't think I have it in front of me, but I can remember if you have a question, I think I can remember.
Well,
Was it my email?
The staff report.
Oh, that, I'm sorry.
There's some violent papers today.
Yes, I did listen to it.
I just want to be sure I can understand it, and when my wife asks me tonight, I can tell her,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Okay. You need this back?
Sir?
You need it back?
No,
Okay.
it's yours. Anything you want to add to it or explain to us?
I thought you were gonna ask me a question about it.
No, I just wanted you to read it, and is it something I've failed to talk about, ask you, anything?
No, sir, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, throw it in the trash. Mr. Chairman, before we go any further, and I might have to call on my colleague in Ward 6, who's the chairman of the capital project. I may have to, I don't know, but I'm asking you that permission now.
That would be a good idea.
Okay, but before I do that, let me go ahead. And Eddie, you correct me if I'm wrong, okay, please. Right now, you have 7 projects under your capital project committee, okay? 7. I don't know the total cost on all 7, but I do know the phase that we own in right now comes to $30 million. But some of this grant is funded by and the city only has the 6 million, right? Go ahead and speak if you don't mind.
Well, a lot of the projects, there is a sharing mechanism with the state. And so, but my concern on looking at capital projects is due to inflation, it seems like the cost of those projects are very likely to go up over the years.
Even the 6 million I just
Yes,
said,
sir.
it could be
Yeah.
10 according to what I heard today.
Yeah, and one example is recently on Fire Station 7.
Yeah.
We had to pay an additional, was it $70,000? Around 70,000, Jesse, for some compaction that we had to do that we hadn't planned. So that was a change order. So, you know, I'm just concerned that these projects, they're a priority of BOMA. More than one BOMA has spoken on those. And so I just want us to be able to keep the infrastructure reserve intact in case those projects, not in case, when those projects go up.
Thank you, Eddie. What really gets me mad, can I use that word?
Sure.
I'm looking at stop 30. I'm looking at the roundabout at Durham Farms. I'm looking at the intersection of Drake's Creek and stop 30. I'm looking at Old Shackle Island and Walton Ferry. That's been on my want list for 20 years, that one project. And I don't know the status on it. It doesn't matter. Saundersville Road, that's another one. But committee, what I'm trying to say is that any of this here could be $10 today and $50 tomorrow, okay? The way this inflation is going. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna go ahead and if I may, make a vote, but make a comment. about how I feel about
Yes,
it? Can
yes, you
I?
can.
Okay. I make a motion that we send this to BOMA with a negative recommendation.
Do we want to vote on it first?
That's, yeah, I'm putting it out there. Yeah. This committee can vote on what I just proposed.
Okay. Do you have any more discussion?
I would
Mr.
like to ask Jeff over here, since he's one of the co-sponsors, what are your thoughts on this?
Sure. I mean, I can mention a couple thoughts that I have. I'm going to reserve the majority of it for BOMA, since it will be hopefully presented tonight if we waive the 2-week rule, which would have to happen in order for us to move this forward. In order for us to even vote on this, we'd have to waive the 2-week rule. If we don't waive that, this is all done anyways.
We're gonna
Just wanna
vote on
make that-
tonight at BOMA. It's going to
Correct.
BOMA.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to BOMA tonight.
Yeah.
With waiving of the 2-week rule if we agree to that. Here's my thoughts on this. Eddie mentioned, Alderman Robertson mentioned that the cost of things isn't getting any cheaper, right? Well, land isn't getting any cheaper either. And if the city has need for additional facilities, or we don't have any parks on the east side of Exit 8. So if the city wanted to have a park, with the exception of the golf course, which is not really a park, right? It's park-like land, but it's not a park. But we don't really have a park for any of those residents over there, unless they go across and they can go to the parks by the library. What's that park called?
Greenway,
The Greenway. Okay.
There's not much
We
of
need
a
a
park.
sign on
Well,
it. There's
Where's our
no-
naming committee? We need to name that park.
Sassy Park.
So gosh, no, let's not go there. So I see, and I'll mention this tonight, but I see many different uses. We've talked about a potential of a fire station over there. We have a police station that needs to be built, maybe put it there, or it could just be a dog park. But we don't have, unless we have the land to be able to do that, we're not going to be able to accomplish anything of that sort. And for that reason, that's why I supported this ordinance. It is a relatively good deal for that sizable piece of property. We could also just sit on it, to be honest with you. This could be an investment. Instead of getting it developed now, maybe we waited 10, 15 years, and then we sold it at a profit for the city. So there's a lot of options that we could have with this property. The land area of the city is not going to get any bigger. So there's limited amount of land that's available in the city, and we're not going to be able to find any more hidden under a rock. So that's why I supported this. I do think there's a bit of an urgency to this. I do agree. We've got a lot of projects, but we also do have the reserve funds to be able to purchase this land, which is a position we haven't been in before. Over the past few years, we've accumulated a decent reserve. So if we have the ability to, I'm thinking we need to exercise that right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, any more discussion?
Well, I'm going to ask you now, Lee, since you were the other co-sponsor of this bill. Your thoughts?
I have to agree with Alderman Sassy. It'd be a great opportunity for the city, that there's no parks on that side of town. It could be a simple dog park. We are, I think, in the process of applying for a Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Park grant, where we could, if we do win that grant, we could put all the equipment there. And I also agree with Mr. Waters, that capital projects list is growing exponentially with the dollar amount to go with it. But I would like to see the city investing in property public property is a park for the citizens. I think that's one of our responsibilities. So that's why I know there's urgency that we have to do a
Right.
refusal by tomorrow. So that's why we waived the 2-week rule to discuss this tonight.
Okay, thank you.
I will certainly entertain your motion now.
My motion stands as I said. Send it to Bowman tonight with negative recommendation.
But I think we do need to vote on this
Sure.
first.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Okay, we have a somewhat of a motion.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, can you make the motion any better than I did?
I wonder if we should just make a motion to send it to BOMA with our vote.
That's not what the bylaw says. We got to either recommend it, not recommend it, or negative. We got to give them why or what. Am I right, Mayor?
It's going to Boma anyway.
It's going,
It's going to Bowman anyway.
So you could ask the BOMA consider it tonight. You're welcome to do that. I think it's going to be up to the board whether we consider it or not, regardless. But we do need some sort of action from the committee. Recommend it be neutral or recommend it be denied.
okay.
Or you could recommend changes to it. You can do all those.
Pretty straightforward. I don't know if there's any changes that we could make to it. It is first right of refusal resolution. The property owners have given the city the opportunity to purchase it before a developer. We have a motion on the table for a negative recommendation. I guess we can vote on that.
well, we have to, we put the motion up.
Okay. All those in favor of a negative,
You need a
Recommend-
second.
oh, I need a second to Mr. Waters' motion of a negative recommendation.
I can't second that.
I don't have a second. Would you like to change your motion?
You're not going to second it either?
I would like a vote on this.
Okay. Okay. Not gonna hurt my feelings.
Okay,
I still love you.
I'll let you change your motion.
Vote it down and go to somebody else make a motion.
Okay.
You want to vote it down, go ahead.
Okay, well, we can vote on Mr. Waters' motion. All those in favor say aye.
Of which motion?
On the motion to send a negative recommendation to BOMA.
So who had the second? on that?
There was a second.
There was no second.
And there was
so-
no
So it
second,
dies
so
at no
it
second.
fails.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
So would someone like to make another motion?
I move that we approve resolution 2023-42.
I have a proper motion and I will second that. All of those in favor of sending this resolution 2023-42 with an intent to exercise first right of refusal on the purchase of property on Saundersville Road, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-1. Okay, item number 4 is resolution 2023-44, a resolution to amend the Mayfair Phase 2 final development plan. Mayor, you're sponsoring that. Would you or Mr. Free like to weigh in on that one?
I'll speak on it first. You're probably gonna have some questions that Keith can answer better than I can. The best thing I can do is ask you to turn to page 56 and 57. 56 will show you what is currently approved. I'm sorry. Turn to, 57 will show you what is currently approved. And that has 3 parcels up front to the right of the picture. Those are gonna be commercial, and we've got some uses that are explained there. And you see the back portion of that to the left, sort of a big box store there with a big parking lot. That is currently what's approved. With the city being donated a smaller piece of property with the Bradford Berry House, a second piece of property with the cemetery, and being given $100,000. Turn over to page 57. This is what's being proposed. You still have the 3 lots up front to the right, that fronts Gallatin Road. But the major difference there is that the city will get pretty much everything back from there. There's one other small lot there, but pretty much everything back to the left will become the property of the city. That's the cemetery and the Bradford Berry House in one lot, and also total of 13 acres that are behind that. That would be donated to the city. The $100,000 would not be donated to the city, but we would get all that property back behind there. There's no requirement that we restore the house, fix the house, do anything with the house. But we would have any options that anybody can imagine to do with that property.
It doesn't affect the house at all, does it?
They wouldn't be restoring the house. We wouldn't be required to. The house will stay the way it is until the Board of Mayor and Aldermen decide to do something with it.
So the current plan is that the city would get the Bradford Berry House Cemetery and 1.6 acres and $100,000 from the developer.
Yes.
To go toward any preventative issues with the house. The proposed amendment is to give the city 13.24 acres, the house and the cemetery,
Yes.
but no $100,000.
No $100,000. Yes.
You read that well.
Yes,
You read that good.
I did.
Also, we would have the opportunity to put a particular date on when this would happen. Right now, we don't have that opportunity.
Would that be an amendment that we would include tonight?
The developer, we won't consider this tonight, but the developer and the owner have said that they want to donate this land by the end of the year, and that is not currently in here, but is that right?
Yes.
Okay, but that's something that I would ask the board to stipulate.
And there's also a public hearing on this October 24th.
Okay.
At Bowman.
I've been informed that that's correct.
Okay. Do y'all have any more questions on this? Okay.
Make a motion. Accept.
I have a proper motion for Mr. Waters to
Second here.
accept. And second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes 3-0. Okay, we'll move down to other agenda items. We have a discussion about the PEP safety grant.
So I can speak to that. That's
Okay.
the Public Entity Partner Safety Grant that I brought before you a month and a half ago. We got approved for the full $4,000. So I'm working with finance currently to put together all the receipts and everything, but that'll be, the grant was approved and we'll be receiving that money once everything gets submitted.
Excellent. Very good. Good job on that, Jason. Thank you.
I have a question.
What you would say is,
On the PEP safety grant or Mansker Farms?
No, just, I'll ask some American questions.
On other business?
Yeah.
Okay. We have item number 6, a discussion for land at Mansker Farms. And I hope that's not to purchase anymore land.
it isn't, but
Don't leave. I need to ask you something.
I gotta go get ready for a meeting.
Well, I know, but I'll be waiting just a minute.
What is this Mansker
I
Farms?
can explain that. So there's 2 lots in the Master Farms development, lots 8 and 9. It's with Center Point Road frontage. And when the final development plan was approved by the city, there was an agreement that those 2 lots would be donated to the city for the purpose of a fire station, a fire hall. That is something that the developer has reached out to the city, wanting to go ahead and convey that to the city. I've been in communication with them and they're trying to put some conditions on you that they will go ahead and donate that to the city, but if we don't build a fire hall within 5 years, then it reverts back to the developer. That is just their hopes right now. There's nothing enforceable about that. But at some point, there is a cloud over those two lots. And at some point, the city would need to make a decision if it wanted to take that on. And if it did, it would likely have to build a fire hall to do anything with it.
The most recent conversation we had with them is that if we don't accept the property, how would we feel about them selling the property with 2 houses on it?
Was that their only use or only stipulation was a fire hall?
That is on the the final development plan that it would be donated specifically for a fire hall.
Okay. That is good discussion that I would like to discuss again at another time.
Good.
Mr. Garza, do you have any more input on?
No, I'm sure that there's some discussion with Lori. I know you guys have a meeting coming up also to maybe elect new officers, but, and Scotty's not here, but I don't know if a fire hall is needed there. It sounds like it is.
When this was agreed to with the help of a judge several years ago, we didn't have a fire hall at Mustang Lane.
Okay.
Lance, how many acres are these 2 lots total? Do you know that?
That's a good question.
Could it be a nightclub called Fire Hall?
Jeff,
I got a good story about that sometime.
The
Other.
Or we could put like playground equipment that looks like
Looks-
a fire truck.
Yes, there we go.
I'd say they look the same as the other
Okay.
lots. I don't know that, I can find out the dimensions of that. But this is lot 8 and lot 9. right
What is,
there.
do you know the size of all lots in Masters?
Oh, there's a very, like even the homes they're building behind,
Okay.
they're 3 different sizes,
Okay.
so it varies.
I can get that information.
Okay, thank
And
you.
any other information you need.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, item number 7 is other business. Mr. Waters, did you have some other business?
Yes, I do. Quickly, Mayor. Refresh my memory on renaming the traffic court to
So-
Curtis,
So we made,
Curtis Lincoln.
yeah, we have renamed it. The Board of Mayor and Alderman passed that sometime. We are, Judge Edwards is coordinating the effort to get a portrait of Judge Lincoln and get it framed. He's working on that right now.
Okay. Sales tax that we've been talking about. In the last meeting, I asked you what kind of a time limit we had to get this to the election commission. And you told us it'd be on tonight's Obama meeting. It's not.
Yeah.
When is it going?
So I had a conversation today with the chairman of the election commission about just that. The estimate that we got, it wasn't complete, and I didn't get I still haven't got a complete estimate actually until just this morning. I had a conversation. The answer is, I don't know. I don't know what the estimate of the cost is yet.
Okay,
It's hard to bring y'all that request if I don't know how accurate that estimate is.
okay. You can go. You're dismissed. Keith?
Yeah.
Don't be laughing. Any update on the planning department, development impact fee and planning fee? I don't care who answers.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's actually going to be part of my BOMA report this evening, but we'll give you guys a sneak peek. We have, I believe, executed the agreement to do an update to a prior impact fee study that we had done.
Good.
And the reason that we did an update is because it's less expensive to the city and we had a lot of the framework in place. And so we're going to zone in on a residential development. We've talked about ways to incentivize commercial. So development impact fees for commercial isn't the highest priority as residential is. So it'll focus on residential. And then planning fees are under their final review. Those planning fees that we will propose to BOMA are based on recouping staff's time. So when a development like a Costco comes in, how long does it take planning staff to go through all the phases of the approval, right? It takes their salaries and benefits and their times, and it says this is what a fee would be. So that will impact the commercial side of things. So the impact study will really do the residential, and then the planning fees will really impact the commercial side of things. So we're in the final phases of doing that planning fee update. We'll probably bring it to the next general committee meeting.
Really?
And the impact fees will probably be a month or two. So we're pretty close on both.
Impact fee, refresh my memory, Keith or Jesse. Is there two different kinds of impact fees that we talked at one time?
Well, there can be many different types of impact fees, and there has to be a clear nexus for.
I'm talking about commercial.
We're just considering park land to residential on the impact fee that's coming up right now. So the update to the plan will be residential, and it'll be tied to park, which it was before. And legally, that's probably the cleanest and clearest path to actually implementing an impact fee.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like to entertain a motion to dismiss?
No, I don't want to leave.
Well, we have another meeting in 1 minute.
Look, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is closed. Thank you all
Thank
for
you, buddy. Appreciate you.
coming tonight, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
I didn't know if it was-